Hello children, myself Durgesh Shukla and we are here to discuss our new chapter Heat and its effects. Before proceeding our chapter, I would like to tell you please subscribe our channel and share among your friends, and do not forget to click on bell icon so that you can get notifications regarding next videos. So students, let us proceed. So before proceeding, which topics we will discuss? Heat, effects of heat, expansion due to heat, measuring heat, temperature, scales of temperature, conversion of temperature from degree Celsius to Fahrenheit and vice versa, means from Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, and the device or instrument which is used for measuring temperature, that is thermometer, and types of thermometer, that is laboratory and clinical thermometers. So let us proceed. Students, what is heat? So heat is a form of energy which makes a substance hotter. In our everyday life we see various activity, various things, like when an utensil filled with water or filled with milk is kept over a burning gas burner, after some time it becomes hotter, right? If we touch it, so we feel it hot, and if we touch a cube of ice we feel cold. So students, heat cannot be seen by us, we can feel it only by the temperature effect it produces, right? And how we can feel? We can feel this heat by our sense of touch. How? By hot and cold sense of touch, as I told you. In the beginning of 19th century, Mr. C. Rumford and James Prescott established an experiment, and by that experiment they told that heat is a form of energy known as thermal energy. What they told? Heat is a form of energy known as thermal energy. Okay students, as I told you कि we can feel heat by hot and cold sense of touch, but sometimes our sense of touch is not reliable. Sometimes our sense of touch is not reliable. This we will clarify with an activity. We will take three containers A, B, C, and all three containers we will fill water. In A container we will fill cold water, container B hot water, container C lukewarm water. Lukewarm water means that is gunguna pani, right? Now in container A we will put our left hand, in container B we will put our right hand, and we will keep our hands for 1 to 2 minutes. But students, one thing you should keep in your mind, that hot water should not be very hot, should not harm us. Okay, so after keeping 1 to 2 minutes we will remove our both hands, and simultaneously we will put our both hands in container C, in which lukewarm water is filled. So students, with our left hand we will feel, our left hand previously was in cold water, now our left hand feels that lukewarm water as hot water, and our right hand which was earlier, which was in hot water, now this right hand feels lukewarm water as cold water. Whereas this lukewarm water is same water for both the hands, but our left hand feels this lukewarm water as hot water and right hand feels this lukewarm water as cold water. So by this activity we can say that our sense of touch is not reliable every time. Sometimes it may give us false information about hotness or coldness. So students, this means for measuring this hotness and coldness, there should be a reliable measure, and that reliable measure is known as temperature. Okay, before discussing about temperature, we will discuss some effects of heat. Students, heat causes increase in temperature. As I told you that on heating water, milk, tea, it becomes warmer, means its temperature increases. When we heat water, it becomes warmer, it means its temperature increases. Okay. Second, heat causes expansion. Sometime in our kitchen we see, if milk is heated and sometime it overflows. Why? Because on heating, milk expands, its balloon increases and it expands and it overflows out of fry pan. Okay, so we can say heat causes expansion. Next, heat causes change in state. Students, when water is heated, water is in liquid state, and when water is heated, it converts into gaseous state like water vapor, or you can say steam. So we can say heat causes change in state, means solid to liquid and liquid to gases. Okay. Next, heat causes chemical changes. In your class 6 you would have read about chemical changes. Then cooking of food is a chemical change. Do you know? Okay. When vegetables are heated, then these vegetables get cooked. Okay, and it is a chemical change, cooking of food or cooking of vegetables. So we can say heat causes chemical changes. Next, heat affects living organisms. Students, if we will take normal water and we will see it under a powerful microscope, we will see various living organisms like microorganisms like bacteria. Now we will heat this water, means we will boil this water, and after boiling again we will see this water under a powerful microscope. Then what we will see, these bacteria will die, means dead bacteria we will see. So we can say heat affects living organisms. Okay, so heat causes expansion. This point we will discuss in detail. First of all, expansion of solids. When solids like metal are heated, when metals are heated, they expands. Okay, and when they are cooled, they contracts. One example I will give you, but before that I would like to remind you, in class 6 there was a chapter physical and chemical changes. In that physical change you would have read about expansion of metallic strip, which is mounted over or around a wooden wheel of cart. Before setting that circular strip of iron, it is heated, and after heating it expands, means it becomes larger in size, and then it is set over that wooden wheel, and then it is cooled, and then again it contracts and sets properly over the wooden wheel. Okay, next we will discuss another example. We will take one metallic ring and one metal ball, and before heating we will pass that metal ball from ring, and it will pass very easily. Now we will heat this metallic ball, and after heating again we will try to pass this metal ball from that ring which we have taken earlier. Now this time after heating this ball will not pass through the ring. Why? Because on heating there is expansion in this ball. Okay, so now it expands and it cannot pass through that ring. So by this activity we can say solid expands when heated. A solid expands when heated. Okay, next, expansion in liquids. Already we have discussed about the overflowing of milk or water. Okay, so whatever liquids we have taken, that is okay, either it means it is milk or it is water. So liquids expand more than solids. In comparison of solids, liquids expand more on heating. And if we will take full kettle means filled with water or milk, after heating sometime it overflows. Why? Because liquids expand on heating, that is why it overflows. Okay, now expansion in gases expand more than solids and liquids on heating. Again for this we will do one activity. We will take one beaker. In that beaker we will take some hot water. Okay, and we will take one glass tube. Okay, opened from both the ends. Means you can say we will take one test tube. Okay, and at one end we will fit one balloon. Okay, now we will put that glass tube in that hot water. So what we will see, that balloon will inflaten little bit. This balloon will inflaten. Why? Whatever air was filled in that test tube or balloon, on heating it expands, that is why it inflates. Okay, again same balloon we will put in cold water. Okay, so what we will see, that balloon gets sucked inside tube. Why? Because on cooling this gaseous material, that is air, contracts, that is why it is sucked inside. This balloon is sucked inside. Okay, now the reliable measure for measuring hotness or coldness, that is temperature. So we will discuss temperature. What is temperature? So the degree of hotness or coldness of an object is called its temperature, and the temperature is measured by an instrument called thermometer, and the units which we use, those units are either degree Celsius or Fahrenheit, but generally we use degree Celsius, unit of degree Celsius, and it is indicated by capital C with uppercase of a round circle. Okay. Another scale of measuring temperature means apart degree Celsius are Fahrenheit and Kelvin. Okay, but in your class you will discuss only about two scales, that those are degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Okay, on the Celsius scale we take 0 degree Celsius temperature as lower fixed point at which pure water freezes. Means at 0 degree Celsius pure water freezes, and 100 degree Celsius temperature as upper fixed point at which pure water boils. Is it clear to everyone? Okay. And in Fahrenheit scale, this lower fixed point is taken 32 degree Fahrenheit, and upper fixed point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. Keep this thing in your mind. In degree Celsius, 0 degree Celsius is lower fixed point at which pure water freezes, and 100 degree Celsius is upper fixed point at which pure water boils. But in Fahrenheit scale, 32 degree Fahrenheit is lower fixed point at which water freezes, and 212 degree Fahrenheit is upper fixed point at which water boils. See, on degree Celsius scale, this gap is 100 degree Celsius, but in Fahrenheit scale this gap is means 180 degree Fahrenheit. So we can say this 100 degree gap is equal to 180 degree in Fahrenheit scale. So students, with this image you can see these are thermometers, and in one thermometer degree Celsius scale is taken, and another right side thermometer Fahrenheit scale is taken. You can see in left side 0 degree Celsius, and in right side thermometer at Fahrenheit scale 32 at which water freezes. Okay, and upper fixed point in on degree Celsius, that is 100 degree Celsius, and on Fahrenheit scale that is 212 degree Fahrenheit at which water boils. So with this we can correlate these two scales, and we can convert one scale from one scale to another scale of temperature. So here we will discuss conversion of temperature from one scale to another, from degree Celsius to Fahrenheit and from Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. Students, as we discussed that 0 degree Celsius is equal to 32 degree Fahrenheit, and 100 degree Celsius point is equal to 212 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so the interval of 100 in degree Celsius is equal to an interval of 180 degree Fahrenheit. So degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, the ratio of degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit is 100:180, and after simplifying this ratio is 5:9. Now to convert degree Celsius to Fahrenheit, we will use formula. Fahrenheit means if temperature is given in degree Celsius, how we will convert it in Fahrenheit? So Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 into degree Celsius temperature plus 32, and to convert from degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, we will use formula. Degree Celsius is equal to 5/9 bracket for Fahrenheit minus 32. With this formula, we can convert temperature from one scale to another scale. Here one example I have taken, convert 10 degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit. So in first formula, in place of degree Celsius we will put 10. So Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 into 10 plus 32. Okay, after simplification, it is 50 degree Fahrenheit, means 10 degree Celsius is equal to 50 degree Fahrenheit. Now convert 95 degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. Second formula we will use. So how? Celsius is equal to 5/9 bracket Fahrenheit minus 32. In place of Fahrenheit F, we will put 95. After simplification, again we will get 35 degree Celsius, means 95 degree Fahrenheit is equal to 35 degree Celsius. I hope it is clear to everyone, and now you can convert temperature from one scale to another scale. Okay, next, measuring temperature. As already we have discussed that temperature is measured by an instrument or device, that is thermometer. Okay, there are two common types of thermometers, laboratory thermometers and clinical thermometers. Generally both are based on Celsius scale of temperature. Generally Fahrenheit scale may be given there, but generally we see Celsius scale of temperature on these thermometers. Okay, laboratory thermometers are used in science laboratories. Okay, and about the structure of laboratory thermometer, this laboratory thermometer consists of a long, thin, uniform glass tube sealed at one end, and at another end also sealed with a bulb. In that bulb a liquid is filled. That liquid is mercury. Do you know mercury is a metal, only metal which is found in liquid state. Okay, so another end there is a bulb that is also sealed, and in that bulb mercury is filled. Okay, in this laboratory thermometer the range of temperature is minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius, means the minimum temperature which can be measured by laboratory thermometer, that is minus 10 degrees Celsius, and maximum temperature it can measure 110 degree Celsius. Okay, for various purposes, for measuring the temperature of water or another liquid. Okay, generally we use laboratory thermometer. Another thermometer, that is clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometers are used to measure body temperature of human being. Okay, and the structure of same as laboratory thermometer, but there is only one difference. Okay, first of all, temperature range of clinical thermometer is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius or 95 degree Fahrenheit to 108 degree Fahrenheit. And the structural difference from laboratory thermometer is that it has a slight bend or kink in the stem just above the mercury bulb. And why this kink or slight bend is there? For preventing sudden fall in mercury level after removing thermometer from the mouth of the patient. Means for preventing sudden fall in temperature, this kink is there in clinical thermometer. Okay, and why the scale is 35 to 42 degrees Celsius is taken in clinical thermometer? Because the main purpose of the clinical thermometer is to measure the temperature, body temperature of human being, and the human body temperature cannot low than 35 degrees Celsius and cannot be more than 42 degree Celsius. That is why this range is taken. Okay, now the normal body temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius, and if it is taken in Fahrenheit scale, it is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now some precautions which should be taken while using a clinical thermometer. First of all, thermometers should be washed before and after use, especially with an antiseptic solution, so that if there is any germs are present, so by applying antiseptic solution, those germs can be removed. Second, ensure that before using thermometer, mercury level should be below than 35 degree Celsius. Next, read the thermometer keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. Sometime if we see from upper side or low side, it may give wrong information. It may appear at different point. So our means the level of mercury should be in our line of sight horizontally. Okay, since these thermometers are made of glass, so we should handle with care. Otherwise, if they hit against a hard surface, they can break. Next thing, never hold thermometer by the bulb while reading it, because if we will hold the bulb of mercury by our body temperature, by our body heat, this mercury will increase in level, expand and increase in level. So we should not hold the thermometer by the bulb. Okay, so students, we discussed various topics in this chapter. I hope each and every topic will be clear to you. Okay, so on the basis of these topics, some questions are here I would like to discuss, so that we can assess that how much we have learned. First question, fill in the blanks. The hotness of an object is determined by its, what answer will be there? Temperature. Second, temperature of boiling water cannot be measured by a clinical thermometer, because temperature of boiling water can be measured by laboratory thermometer. Okay, temperature is measured in degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit, or we can say temperature is measured in degree of hotness or coldness. Question number second, list 4 effects of heat. Heat causes expansion, heat causes chemical changes, heat affects living organisms. Okay, next question number 4, which of these expand the most on heating? Solids, liquids, gases. So students, as I told you, as we discussed, gases expand the most on heating. Okay, next question, what is the temperature range of clinical and laboratory thermometers? So what is the range of clinical thermometer? 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Okay, in Fahrenheit scale you will tell. Question number 6, what is the temperature of normal human body in degrees Celsius? It is 37 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit scale it is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, I hope everything will be clear. If you have any doubt, please write your doubts in comment box or description box. Okay, students, watch video and share among your friends. And till now, if you have not subscribed our channel, please subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching video. Thank you very much.